welcome to Talking Bridal with Bridezilla. Today I am joined by Jo, who is one of our newest team members. You've literally just joined, haven't you?
Literally, yeah.
And already we've been out on an outing. We went to London,
we had
didn't
the best day.
Wasn't it?
Honestly.
I just shared a story about it yesterday. We had like our little Zoom kind of chat. Not really an interview, was it? But just, you wanted to kind of come on board in the team. And I was like, yeah. And then we just had a chat. And then while we were on that Zoom call, you were like, oh, and we were talking about the
you
course.
Mentioned about you were going to London on Thursday and it was for a masterclass.
Yeah.
And I was like, what one is that by any chance? And you said what one it was. And I was like, oh, I'm going too.
That was I think it was just like, it just blew my mind. I was like, what? So me and Phoebe met you at the train station.
Yeah.
And then we spent the day in London together, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. So
we had such a great day.
Wasn't it?
Oh my God, I want to do it all over again.
It was good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd sort of followed, so for people that don't know, we went on, what would we say it was? It's basically the head hair and makeup artists for Strictly Come Dancing.
Yeah.
Lisa and Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus? Marcos.
Yeah,
Or was it Marcos? I don't know how he pronounces.
Marcos, maybe?
Marcos. Sounds more exotic. Who is just absolutely mad as a box of frogs, isn't he?
Oh, love him.
But he's just amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, literally liking all of his stories at the moment because he just posts. He's so funny.
Yeah. Did you see his outfit the other day with the red shoes?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
I know, he's so cool. And Phoebe's sort of slightly obsessed with him as well.
Yeah.
So he was amazing. Obviously, I know I don't sort of do makeup as such, but I still got an interest in everything like that. And then Lisa, I've actually been on one of her courses before years ago. I went and met her up in I want to say Liverpool.
I think it was Liverpool.
I think it was Liverpool or Leeds.
Because she remembered you, didn't she?
She did.
Yeah.
I know. I was like,
I know.
She remembers me. She's like, I know you. Because I stalk her page all the time and I'm always like trying to land myself a job on Strictly. Yeah. So we just had a really good day.
Yeah.
And I think like, although we are bridal hair and makeup specialists, it's really good fun to see what goes on in something completely different like TV and film. Because obviously for you as like a makeup artist, obviously the makeup looks are much more dramatic. Mm-hmm. The hair is massively dramatic as well because like especially working on Strictly and Dancing on Ice, I think it is they do, the hair has to stay because that would be my like
all the
spinning around and lifts and everything because it surprised me that she said like all the hair extensions and the ponytails that they put on them, they literally sew them on, even if it's just for like a 3-minute dance. They're sewn in, like wedged into the hair. So that was quite interesting. I was thinking, oh, maybe I should do that for my prize. Get my needle and thread out in the morning and start sewing stuff in. It's like, just so it doesn't move, it's fine. But yeah, we had a really good day.
We did. It was so interesting.
And I think it's like really good, like obviously you're just coming on board with the team, but you were like saying, obviously we'll go into it in a second, like sort of where you started and everything, but working on your own, being self-employed can be a bit lonely sometimes, can't
definitely.
it? And you kind of like sort of got in touch and was like, have you got any spaces on your team, any space? And I was like, of course there's space. And I just think it's lovely to have, like, for me as well, because I've always worked on my own and being self-employed, to now all of a sudden have this lovely team of girls that not only do we just, sometimes we'll go, obviously I know you've only just sort of joined, but some of the girls in the team, sometimes I don't see them for a long time, we work on weddings, but it's also nice to just have that group where we kind of meet up, like next weekend, next Friday actually we're going out for dinner. I'm having a little night out with Phoebe tonight actually as well. Just we just a little impromptu one we decided yesterday, and it's just nice having that friendship group as well, and people that you can kind of relate to. So tell us a little bit about yourself, like when you sort of started in makeup, what got you into it?
Well, I always wanted to do makeup when I was at school.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was a little while ago now. And back then, it wasn't quite such a big thing.
Yeah.
And when I was at school, I wanted to work more. I was watching things like Casualty and things like that. Yeah. And that's what inspired me to want to do makeup. And originally, I wanted to go down that route. But then, obviously, you leave school, you find a job. I didn't go to college or anything.
Yeah.
And then I had my children, and then I was made redundant from my job, and I was like, do you know what? Now is my time that I want to do makeup. Yeah. So I found a course. I did a course. And I just sort of ventured out, mainly doing sort of, to start off with, occasion makeup, just, you know, practicing. And then more sort of bridal. Yeah. And now I absolutely love the bridal side of it. That's, you know, I love a bridal morning, getting to know your bride, building that relationship, just the whole buzz of everything to do with. It's such a great part of the industry to be in.
I think it is, isn't it? And it's massive now, because we're sort of similar. You know, we've got sort of, our kids are sort of grown up, and well, not completely grown up, but you know, they're, you know, and you just, the industry's so much different now. And I feel like for us, you know, we've almost had a bit of a head start on this, because if we started doing weddings quite a few years ago, we've had that time to really build on our techniques, our skills, you know, constantly. I mean, we're constantly learning, because we're just talking, we've just been on a course, you know.
That's it,
and always going and further training and things like that. But it's because you're so passionate about it. And I think, you know, there's a lot of hair and makeup artists and bridal in particular coming out the woodwork now. And like Instagram is taken over, isn't it? Definitely. And I just find that's like another full-time job in itself, trying to keep on top of it, because you know, you want to stay visible. So having like that head start has always been, you know, really good. What do you do to sort of keep up to date with your skills? Where do you learn from? Where did you do your first course, and what have you kind of done since?
So I like to just book in with other artists. I'm part of the Christina. I can't say her full name.
Everyone knows. We just say Christina because everybody knows Christina.
So I'm on her online academy. Yeah. Obviously she's amazing. How, you know, everything is just, it's amazing. So, and they have a lot of online tutorials and things on there. Yeah. That I stay up to date with.
I think like everybody in the team, in the Bridezilla team, has trained with Kasia or Christina. And all online academy members, because you know, people that are listening that aren't in the hair and makeup industry world will think, what are you talking about? Anyone else that's listening knows that they are the best people in the industry to train with, and if you are an active member of their online academy and you go on their courses, I mean, you're just going to know and learn so much. So you know, the fact that you've trained with them, you know, it's always something that I do look for as well, because I'm always like, you know, where did you train? You know,
it's that style, isn't it? I mean, I always, that where I want to be bridal wise is just to create looks that are timeless and elegant. Yeah. And I always want to keep in line with that. Yeah. So that then when your bride looks back at their photos in 10 years time as well, they're not thinking, my God, what was I doing? Yeah.
Like, why did I have that? Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's, again, one of the things when you sort of came on board, and I was like, you know, looking at your style, and I'm like, this is exactly how we, you know, operate here as well. Like everything is very kind of elegant, sophisticated, timeless. We don't necessarily do, you know, we're not boho, we're not, you know, certain, I mean, don't get me wrong, we've got girls in the team that can do, you know, outside of Bridezilla, they do amazing boho and plaits, and Dominique that was on before, she loves all that kind of stuff, and she's great at that. But which is great for certain occasions and things. But I think, you know, certain trends as well, you know, even I guess with makeup, there's certain trends or certain kind of, I guess, colours sometimes that come out, and you just think, oh, I went with what was trending at the time, and I wish I hadn't have done that. Definitely. Whereas I think, you know, some brides, if they go for, you know, a Hollywood glamour wave or a, you know, a bridal bun, a classic kind of, you know, modern, but, you know, classic, it's timeless. They're not going to look back, like you say, on their photos and go, what was I thinking? You know, what was going on? And your makeup very much reflects that, I think. Obviously, we're coming up to the summer. We're starting now, really getting into the thick of wedding season. This is like, we're sort of popping a few podcasts out today, because I know like over
everyone's going to be really busy
over the next, you know, few months. What are we now, May, so it's going to be a really busy summer season. Is there any particular, obviously you've done quite a few trials leading up to your brides this year, is there anything in particular that's kind of would you say that people are asking for, like in terms of colours, or do you tend to stick to the same kind of palette for when you're doing?
Yeah, for bridal, I tend to sort of stick to sort of peachy nudes, pinky nudes, that sort of colour palette really. Yeah. Just keep it, quite soft.
Have you ever had a bride that's, it just reminded me actually of a funny story, but have you ever had a bride that's asked for something that's quite out there and you thought, this is not going to work?
I mean, I've had a couple of brides that like blue eyeliner.
Oh, okay.
A flick. Not on the waterline. Oh,
okay.
On the lid.
Yeah.
And, I've just not been...
Try and talk them out of
that.
Yeah. I had one once where she had a beautiful updo. I think it's like very, very classic sort of bun. But she asked for all the bridesmaids to have like almost like a neon pink, like eyeshadow. Really?
Yeah.
And the girls I remember that were working just kind of looked slightly horrified. They were like, don't want to do that. Like, no. And glitter, very glittery. Yeah. And then when I'd finished doing her hair, which just looked beautiful, obviously, I'm going to say that, but it's just a very classic bun. Yeah, she asked if I had any glitter spray. Like as in hair glitter spray. And I was like, I think she was just obsessed with glitter. I was like, no, I don't have any of that in my kit. Like, no, don't make me ruin what I've just done. Yeah. And you do wonder sometimes, but you haven't had any kind of strange requests.
No, only sort of, the blue eyeliner. That's
I remember doing that sort of. I remember I was going to say, when I was younger, it used to be like the green eyeshadow. Yeah, we'd all put green eyeshadow on to go out and be like, I look great. And then that like lipstick that was, I think it's like a Rimmel one, like Heather Shimmer.
You would literally like line your lips with a dark lipstick.
Yeah, with a lip really dark.
And then have really light, a lot of the time you'd just use like concealer or something.
The foundation lips.
Yeah, and then I remember those.
Oh no, things have come, that's what I mean. Things have come a long way.
Yeah.
Since we started in the industry.
That's it, definitely.
For sure.
Oh, definitely.
Have you got any favourite products out at the moment? What are your go-to products in your kit now?
My go-to, Bobbi Brown vitamin base.
Oh my God, I love that.
That is my go-to.
I did an event with Bobbi Brown couple of weeks ago, and Shireen, who's I'm going to get her on my podcast, who works for Bobbi Brown, she chucked me a few samples of that stuff.
It's amazing.
And I was like, okay, I'll try it. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And it's in the Marcos kit, wasn't it? Didn't he say when we were on that course he had it? Yeah. And it is incredible.
Literally.
Just remind me what it is, what does it do?
So it's a moisturiser and a primer.
Yeah.
So it's just a good all-round product.
And I definitely feel like when I've used it, I haven't actually got it on today, funnily enough. I'm trying to savour it because it was only like a sample, but I'm definitely going back and buying a big pot. Whenever I've used it, I'm like, my makeup just looks good all day.
Yeah.
It's still there because normally it just kind of melts off.
I use it on everyone.
Do you?
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. Unless they've got really oily skin, then I'll change it. But
so could you use that just as a daily moisturiser?
Yeah, you can do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like works both ways.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
But that's like my holy grail in my kit.
Yeah, and it smells so nice, doesn't it? And it goes on like kind of like velvet on your skin. It just feels very luxurious, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
definitely.
What else have you got?
What else have I got? So foundation wise, I love NARS and Armani Silk.
Yeah,
they're my two go-to foundation brands that I use. What else do I really like? Charlotte Tilbury, obviously, for all of your glow products. Her wands are amazing. Her pressed powders, love those. Yeah, and
her lipsticks as well. I've got a whole collection of those. I've got to kind of slow down on those. But definitely.
And her lipsticks. Yeah, so they're sort of
your go-to.
My go-to key brands and products.
Okay. Would you have any tips for your brides this year in terms of like how to prep their skin for their wedding? Yeah. Do you give them any sort of like leading up to it? Yeah. Like how to, for them to get the best effects?
That's it, because obviously your skincare is so important. Yeah. And your makeup is only going to look as good as, you need to look after your skin for your makeup to look good. So always drink plenty of water to hydrate yourself. And then have some facials as well.
Yeah.
Go and see a skincare specialist to get the right skin routine for you, and have some nice facials.
Yeah.
The lead up to your wedding, and then your skin will just be amazing.
Glowing.
So your makeup will sit lovely on your skin then.
I mean, I will just have to name drop, won't I, and just drop the fact that I think my sister's already been on. We've done a podcast with her, but she is our Bridezilla skincare specialist who does do...
Who I'm seeing after.
Who you are. You're going to see afterwards as well, because she does do a new package actually she brought in just for brides to help you guys out, makeup artists, to come to the venue on the morning to prep the bride's skin prior to their makeup application. So, and obviously doing some like bespoke facials and treatments and you know, dermaplaning, microneedling, skin peels, all that kind of stuff leading up to the day. But I think everybody, I mean, it kind of goes without saying, and me with my coffee, but I always I need to drink more water. I need to drink more water. But it is just keeping everything hydrated is the key point, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It goes hand in hand.
Yeah, because your skin looks, I'm just looking at it now, I'm just like, your skin looks so good.
Actually, what I'm using on mine at the moment is Weleda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is really affordable.
Yeah.
And I've just been using that, and it seems to be doing all right.
It is. It just
I
looks
swap
good.
and change quite regularly because I feel that my skin gets used to a specific cream, and then it stops sort of having...
I find that with like some of my clients with, you know, like shampoos, I always say don't stick to the same shampoo constantly, because I do think after a while your hair and your skin gets used to a certain product, and it doesn't quite, it almost stops having that same effect on everything. So you would sort of recommend just to kind of switch up your products a little bit now and again.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I'm definitely switching over to that Bobbi Brown though. I'm loving that at the moment.
Definitely recommend that.
Yeah, I'm just like, I've got this little tube and I'm like, I don't want it to run out, but I will go in and
if you want some, let me know.
Oh right, thanks. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Thank you. I wasn't hinting, by the way.
That's all right.
So the last question I want to ask you, I mean, we could chat all day, I know. Yeah. We're going to have you back on. I'm going to have someone at the door saying like, come on, time's up. Obviously, everyone, I always ask what their Bridezilla story is, their funny story. Anything in particular that's happened to you on a wedding morning that kind of either, you know, something you've done that's like embarrassing, something you've done that's been a disaster, maybe a bride or a bridal party member. What would you say was your sort of funny story to share?
God, that's just what I was saying to Jodie. I was like, I was really boring actually. I haven't really had much. I mean, I was sent to the wrong venue.
Oh.
So that's probably...
By who? Who sent you to the...
So there was this bridal party and the bride lived up north, but I knew the groom.
Oh, okay.
That's the word. The groom. The groom. So he sort of organised for me to do the bridal party and some guests because it was in the Cotswolds.
Right.
So I sort of liaised with him and he was like, yeah, this is all the details. This is where they're going to be. This is the address. So I got there and I was like, I don't think this is where we're supposed to be.
So it's a groom that organised
organised me.
Oh, yeah, but so why would someone give all that responsibility? That's quite a big responsibility for hair and makeup people to like give to the groom.
So he, so I also work in a salon in Reading.
Yeah.
And he used to see the hairstylist in the salon. So obviously I had that connection with him from there. And the girl that did the hair as well. So we all had that connection.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he just sent me to the wrong place.
Oh my goodness. And how far away was it from the place?
It was about 25 minutes.
Oh
so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I was
I bet your heart just dropped.
I was like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I rang him and he wouldn't answer the phone. And I was like,
you were like, I'm here, but I'm not here.
Yeah. And he's like, where are you? And I'm like, well, I'm where you told me to go. And he's like, oh no,
I've really messed it up. So did you manage to sort of get there relatively quickly and set up and still have everyone ready? So
it worked out fine in the end.
But it's just that like initial...
I literally put my foot down.
When you get somewhere though, I mean, it's happened to me so many times where like obviously sat navs have improved a lot more, but when they were
terrible
first out, I just remember I actually ended up on a traveller's site once by accident.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh my God, like how has this happened? Because my sat nav had, you've arrived at your destination. And I'm like, I'm kind of down this little track. And it was like a really hot, because I was actually travelling to the venue the night before because it was quite far away. It was a summer's evening. It was really, really hot day. So it was still quite late. It was about 9 o'clock at night. And my sat nav had said, you've arrived at your destination for this hotel that they'd put me up in.
Yeah.
And it was literally like this down this track and like fields. And I was like, this can't be it.
It's not right.
But then next, like where this field was, I saw a couple of horses in there, and I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to get out the car. Some nice horses over there. I'm going to go straight there and say hello.
Yeah.
And just stretch my legs, and then figure out exactly where I am. So anyway, these horses were lovely. They were coming over, and I was like, oh, you're sweet. And one of my best friends, like, she's got a couple of horses. And so I just started taking like some pictures and videos of them. And I was just having a chat with her in the car on the way down. So I sent her this picture, and I was like, oh, look at these horses. Aren't they lovely? And her reaction, like straight away, she came back. She's like, mate, they look like traveller horses. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. She went, yeah, I think you're like on a traveller's site. You might want to, get yourself off there, because obviously, if you're on their property, they're not, they might not like it. And literally with that, I just saw these guys like walking towards me, and all of a sudden I was like, no. oh no. Sorry. When you just see in these films, you just think, oh my goodness, like what's happening? And they were lovely. They were nice guys. But I was like, hey, I'm lost. And they were just like, obviously kind of told me where to go, and I was only like 5 minutes away from the actual venue, but it was so weird how you can turn up somewhere, and I've done that so many times where I've like ended up in like a quarry or something, and I'm like, this is there's no wedding venue. And I think that is one of the, I've seen quite a lot of funny memes going around on some bridal hair and makeup artists like Instagram pages and stuff of like, like when you arrive at the wrong destination, or you're just like walking through a field, like in a kit, like where is this place? But so at least it wasn't too traumatic for them. No, good.
No, it was okay.
Oh well, I'm sure. I think working with us, you'll with the girls, there's definitely a few more by this time next year. Not that we'll leave it that long to get you back on, but I think you'll definitely have a few more funny stories, because there's always something going on. Always. Like Dom that was in a minute ago, and with her
hair straighteners.
Set the fire alarm off. I'm just like, oh my goodness. I'm glad I wasn't there actually for that one.
Yeah.
But there's always a funny story. I think I'm going to write a book about this. I think that's my job for retirement. I'm just going to have all like the Bridezilla stories. Because I think it'd be quite an interesting read with everybody's. It'd be so good. Well, thank you. We could talk for ages. I think we've already gone over time. So thank you so much for joining me today.
And
welcome to the team.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to work with you this year. Doing I'm excited. Weddings. It's going to be really good fun.
I'm really excited.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.